Oh man, I gotta do this for 3 different pages. All right. Well, everybody, welcome to the third episode of the Self-Made Sports Network podcast. We don't necessarily have a name yet, so we're just gonna be fluid with it. I am
we don't got to put labels on it.
Not yet. Unless you want to sponsor us, we'll put any name on a sponsor title.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm SJ23. Gonna start trying to go by Slim. So it seems a little easier to roll off the tongue. Joined as always by JT. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, my friend?
We're hanging in there.
You sound a little tired. You sound a little winded.
Man, it's been a long day. It's been a really long day. So how you doing? Why do we start off with some formalities here?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. I don't, it was a pretty low key week. I'm feeling good. I'm in a good mood. Excited for the weekend. It's as folks in the great state of Iowa know, it's a state fair time. So I'm not like a huge fair goer, but I have enough civic pride that I enjoy when it's going on, and I enjoy that people enjoy the fair. It's very special to the state of Iowa. So as you well know, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to play it by ear. I got some tickets here, some free tickets that I got from someone. So I might have to get down there. We'll kind of see.
Free tickets for a show or just free tickets to get
No, just to get it. Dude, tickets are so expensive now. I think I think when we were kids, it was like $8 to get in. It's like $16 to get in now. So when I saw free tickets getting offered up, I was like, shit, I don't even know if I'll use these, but I'll take these anyway.
Well, then if you walk in the door, you're spending $100.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a given. I think we've all come to peace with that. But man, admission is so goddamn expensive these days. But yeah, it's that time of year. We'll kind of play it by ear. I might go down there. My grandpa works overnights at the horse farm, so sometimes at the horse barn. So sometimes I go down there.
Oh, okay.
Shoot the shit with him. So,
well, we got to remind the people that are not from Des Moines that it is East Sider night.
Oh, that's right. It is
on the first Friday. So
turn on your police scanner.
Yeah, if you are in Iowa or anywhere listening, turn on your Des Moines police scanner tonight, and something crazy is bound to happen. It happens every year.
It's about to get wild, man. It's East Side night, baby.
All right, my boy. So I guess we'll just start off right from the jump and point out the obvious. We are 2 weeks away from the kickoff of the Iowa State season. It's hard to believe
college football right around the corner. I don't know. Did you want to kind of start off with our breakdowns that we had planned, kind of going into the teams that we're looking at?
Well, what teams are you going to go with tonight?
Well, I guess if you're going to ask me, we might as well just get into it, because what I decided to look into is looking at the teams that retain the most talent in their starting lineup, coming into this year, because obviously you hear about all the time, you kind of beating the dead horse, transfer portal, guys can go wherever they want, and really you got to think that the teams that are able to retain the most talent, retain kind of their core, are teams that you got to look at, especially early on. So I found an article on CBS Sports from a gentleman by the name of Cody Nagel. He went through all of the Power 4 schools and put together basically in order, which teams have the most amount of starters coming back. And the number one team in the country in that matter is a team that you unfortunately have had firsthand experience at the will that they can impose on a team, and that is Arizona State, our good friends, new friends in the Big 12.
Yeah,
They
which
are
is crazy.
returning. Yeah, they are returning. Oh, I lost the article. They're 7 starters on offense and 10 starters on the defense. So they only lost one guy on their defense. Obviously, looking at the offensive side of things, you got Sam Levitt. He showed out pretty well against Iowa State. Obviously, for those that don't know,
So
Arizona
I don't mean to cut
waxed
you
Iowa
off.
State.
I don't
Yeah,
mean to
go
cut
ahead.
you off there, but I personally I've seen him in person. I know what he had behind him last year, and I'm kind of really wondering what they're going to look like without Scatabo back there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing that I was going to bring up is that obviously they have the most starters back. You know, looking at quantity, but you certainly can't ignore the quality and
So who'd
what they
they
have.
lose on offense? I mean, obviously
I guess
Scadabo's
I don't know.
one of them.
I only see who they had, and not like I said throughout this whole thing. I'm not going to pretend to know the in depths of these teams. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, listen,
that's the big
we
thing,
want to point that out to everybody. Is we're not going to try and act like we know everything.
right? Which is
We're
why
just
that
here
I
to
went with the team that Iowa State played.
tell you what it looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on is that yes, that they have the most amount of returning starters, but which I think is important that they
Oh,
brought the
absolutely.
most starters back. But you can't ignore the fact that they lost Scadaboo. But
But
I think that'll kind of be interesting to see if they're able to build on what they did last year. They were kind of flying under the radar there for a little bit. Dillingham has kind of become a superstar. I think he's a little bit of a d-bag, but I'm sure a lot of people thought Campbell was a d-bag 12 years
I was
ago.
just
So
about to say that.
yeah,
And it takes
yeah. Kenny Dillingham is the kind of coach where you love him if he's on your team, but you hate him if he's on the other. So obviously you've seen plenty of Arizona State. How do you feel about them this year?
I know a guy that is a huge Arizona State fan. His name is Rusty. He is traveling from Tempe to Ames this year after having a couple beers with me and my lovely mother and father while we were down in the old Dallas there. I think they remind me a lot of ourselves as Iowa State fans, essentially. Like,
Mm-hmm.
They're really not used to being here. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere. Granted, we've been through the thickest and the thinnest. Arizona State was up for a national title about 25, 27 years ago. They had a chance for a share of the national title. So, it's just kind of nice seeing a school that you really want to hate. They kind of almost remind me of West Virginia back when they first joined the Big 12. You really wanted to hate them just because of who they were and kind of what they stood for. But over time, like, we call each other the Cycloneers now. So I really think they're a good school to root for. I got nothing bad to say about them. I think they're going to be really scary. That game in Ames in October, it could very well decide the conference.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny thing because it seems. I mean, just from hearing your experience down in Dallas, it kind of seems like even though it was the freaking Big 12 championship game, it doesn't seem like there was a whole lot of bad blood between the two fan bases. It kind of reminds you of when Iowa State was in the Alamo Bowl with the Washington State fans. It seems like they, even though I mean it's the biggest stage for your team, it seems like that those two fan bases got along pretty well down in Dallas.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I got nothing bad to say about them. I think they're really good people. Obviously, we all got assholes on each side of the field, so but you can't let something like that, spoil watching something special. Like, as much as we could say we don't like Dillingham, like you said, he reminds me of a very young Matt Campbell, and he's kind of fell into a position where he's realized they don't have the resources and the unlimited money like a Texas Tech or an Ohio State to go out and spend all this money. Even 10 years ago, like everyone knows that everyone was spending money back then. So now that it's streamlined a little more, like it's kind of changing the players up. But a place like Arizona State or Iowa State, you really gotta build a culture and make people want to be there. I mean, Haycock's going into year 10. He's moved through a couple offensive coordinators, but he's got guys that coach under him that are in the NFL now. Talking about Campbell.
Yeah.
Not to mention he just signed an extension, so he's.
Yeah, that's almost. We'll have to touch on that.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I guess I'm kind of gonna pivot on that a little bit because one thing that I kind of forgot about, because I think it's kind of been a minute since we talked about this, is just kind of in general how there's a lot of unknowns going into how the Big 12 is going to slate in football. And one reason, what I'm getting to, what I'm kind of dancing around, is
go for
it. I believe that the Big 12 decided not to do a preseason poll this year. I believe I'm remembering that correctly. And I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on what that is. I think so. Some of the people that we listen to have kind of talked about it. I don't remember. I think Murph and Andy talked about it. I kind of like the idea that the Big 12 didn't do a preseason poll this year. I think it's always been kind of bullshit, and it's just you don't really know what's going on, and really the preseason poll is kind of the whole reason that Arizona State flew under the radar this year. So, what's your thoughts on the Big 12 not doing a preseason poll, which is something that every conference has done in all their sports from the beginning of time?
Right. So I think nowadays, well, I would like to believe one of the reasons that they decided to not do that is because Arizona State was picked to finish last in the conference. And then they end up coming out and they win the whole damn thing. So now in the day of the SEC and the Big Ten kind of running the world, I think, rating your teams where you think they're going to finish and then someone that you picked to finish last wins the whole conference, they could turn around and say, well, see, that's how bad they are, is that the team that was picked to finish last in the entire conference won the whole thing. And if you watched enough Big 12 football last year, you know that it is by no means, like an easy conference to walk through. Granted, they don't have, the Ohio States and the Michigans and, the SEC powerhouses, but I mean, you could save that conversation for a different day because that comes back to money. And so I think, what's funny is they said they weren't going to do a poll and then 15 other outlets did a poll for them. So they basically still did a poll, but the coaches didn't pick. And you almost kind of wonder if that's Yormark's influence on how the Big 12 is trying to position itself for the future, because he obviously understands where this is going to go eventually, and you can't lose your foothold right now. I mean, Arizona State is technically a bullshit targeting penalty away from, playing for the chance to go to the Final Four, because they should have beat Texas.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that now. God, they're so damn close.
And like I said, they had it, but that targeting penalty, I think it was a fourth down that happened on.
Yeah,
and
sounds right.
they ended up losing in that second overtime or whatever it was. But I mean, I think if you show more unity within your conference, then it for a place like the Big 12, it almost kind of bolsters your best team.
Yeah, so and that's kind of Arizona State. I know we kind of got off on a tangent there. Getting back to the original list of teams that are returning the most guys, I'll just kind of run through kind of more teams on this list here. The next two teams, so Arizona State was number 1 with 17. Tied for second, you have Illinois and Clemson. I just wanted to touch on Illinois real quick. I know I'd mentioned I was going to touch on that with you. Obviously, I can't really break things down for Illinois. I mean, I know they're bringing back their quarterback Altmaier. That's the extent that I know about it. But it just more just kind of interesting to see if Illinois is able to get over the hump this year. So much easier said than done in college football and in the Big Ten. Um, I think it's almost kind of not fair to say that they need to get over the hump because they were 10-3 last year, but all three of their losses were in conference. So they ended up with a 6-3 record in the conference, which isn't saying all that much in the Big Ten. So I guess I just kind of wanted to say if it'll be interesting to see if Illinois is able to get over the top. I mean, more than likely they probably won't. Just kind of like you mentioned, those the Ohio States of the world. There's just so much power at the top of the Big Ten.
Well, let me ask
That's
you
just
this.
kind of one interesting thing to think of.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe in Brett Bielema as a coach?
I mean, I think I do. I mean, he seems like a good. I guess I
He
was going to
coached
say
Melvin Gordon.
he seems like a nice guy. I don't really guess that really doesn't mean anything when it comes to who your coaches. I mean, yeah, he coached. I mean, he's kind of having the same kind of career that he had at Wisconsin. That he's. I mean,
Do you remember why he left? I'm having a really tough time of remembering why he left. Didn't he go to another school?
didn't he go to Arkansas? Is that where he
Okay.
went? Didn't he try it? He basically decided to shoot for the stars and go to the SEC and kind of flamed out there. That's
Here,
where
I'm
he
going to tell
went,
you.
right?
I'm gonna
Arkansas.
fact check ourselves right now. Hey, shout out to Vic checking in from the show tonight. Shout out Self-Made, the label. Shout out Hybrid Promotions. Everybody with the gang. I'll see you guys in a little bit, but obviously I'm taking care of business somewhere else right now. So just wanted to shout out the gang real quick.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess I'm beating to that fact check. Yes, it does look like that Bielema voluntarily left Wisconsin to go to Arkansas, where he did absolutely nothing. 3-9, 7-6, 8-5, 7-6, 4-8, and then he.
Well, then he went to the NFL.
There. Oh yeah, that's right. He made I kind of forgot about that. New England, yeah.
He's probably hoping you did too. So.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, that I guess that is I kind of forgot about that. That's interesting that he's had a little bit of a renaissance there. But yeah, I mean, just kind of getting back to it, just it seemed like that whenever you turned on a game and Illinois was playing, they were always like ranked in the high 20s. I see they got as high as 16 last year. So I guess it'd be kind of interesting to see if they can go any higher than that. Heading on down this list, and this will lead us eventually into a team I know you wanted to talk about. But first, we've got Clemson at 16 starters, Texas A&M 15, Alabama 14, your Iowa State Cyclones 14 starters returning.
Yep, I was waiting.
And
then
for that. Another team with 14 starters is hopefully I'm correctly setting you up. I believe this is the team you wanted to talk about. Is that the Penn State Nittany Lions have 14 starters returning. So that they're one of those. It looks like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the seventh
projected
most
to be
starters.
number one in the preseason poll from a lot of people I've listened to, which kind of takes me by surprise.
Yeah, so I guess I know there's lots of rumors about the expectations that James Franklin's going to have at Penn State. I guess what do you kind of think of what Penn State needs to do this year?
To me, he seems like he's in the same position that Ryan Day was in last year. Granted, Ryan Day at the end of the season, I mean, he had to run the tables, and win a national title. Otherwise, I think he was going to be fired after losing to Michigan. And
I think you're probably right.
I think Penn State's in a little different position. They haven't been at the top since, back when Joe Pa was there. And I know none of those fans like to talk about that. They all try to bury that history, but you just kind of wonder if Franklin can finally get over the top. I guess they got a fairly easy schedule this year. I think they get to avoid Ohio State, and they also get to avoid Oregon.
That's a pretty good deal right there.
I mean, at this point, all you got to do is get there for them. I think if you're 10-2 in the Big Ten, then you're probably in the playoff, unless those two losses are back to back at the end of the year. And even then, you still might be in, depending on where you were ranked.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying, and certainly what everybody else is saying. It's certainly not a groundbreaking opinion that there's pretty sky high expectations um, in state college right now, and I don't know if there's another school that has that's kind of hurting or a title or an appearance. Kind of similar to the way that Ohio State was last year. I think that the Ohio State of this year's college football season is definitely Penn State.
Well, I think they got the best player in the country. Talking about Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, so certainly a lot of pressure off of Ohio State's back. So I guess that's kind of anything else you wanted to talk about on Penn State. Otherwise, I can kind of keep going down the
Well,
list here.
before we move on, I just want to go ahead and correct myself and call myself out. For anyone that might try and fact check me in the future, I was 0 for 2 on teams that I said they did not play this year.
Oh, rough stuff.
They play Oregon at home on the 27th of September, and they play at Ohio State on November 1st. And to keep it to keep it kosher with everyone following me in the state I live in, they do play Nebraska this year.
I think
it is a home game for them though, so we won't get to watch them. We won't get to watch the number one team in the nation play here. But
yeah, Josh, you muted yourself.
Oh, did I? Can you hear me?
Oh wait, that was me. That's embarrassing. Did my headphones just go out?
Can you hear me?
I'm very curious which one of us the audience is hearing right now.
All right. Well, while we figure this out,
are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Are we good?
I think my.
If anybody wants to volunteer to produce this show, we are very more than open to ideas. It's kind of a mom and pop at this point, so we're open to any.
Yeah, no, that was me. My headphones. I think we're good now. Okay, yeah, that was strange.
I was just telling them we're open to any sort of free producing somebody wants to do for us right now.
Yep,
because it's kind of a mom and pop. So
that's right.
Hit us up. We probably can't pay you, but it's a good time.
It's a darn good time. Yeah, so I guess I kind of got it off track there. I was just going to kind of keep going down this. I kind of wanted to switch to, just for fun, looking at some of the teams that are returning the fewest amount of starters. And it's really nothing groundbreaking. There's the team in dead last in Power 4 is.
Hold on, can I guess one? Let me guess one.
Oh, yeah. So I guess I was gonna say Purdue is
Miami's on the list.
No, they're kind of middle of the pack with 8. So there's
really.
Yeah. Well,
Purdue. How many is Purdue returning?
Purdue's returning one guy. They're returning their running back Devin McCoby.
Oh man, if you're a better whatever his number is right now, bet the over. Hammer that bitch.
Yeah, well, I guess if you wanted to guess, the next 3 lowest teams of returning starters are all Big 12 schools.
So I'm gonna guess Utah.
Nope.
Really? It's probably like Houston, Cincinnati, and TCU or some shit like that. Then.
Wrong on every single one of them.
Really?
So you got West Virginia with 3, UCF with 4, Oklahoma State with 4, and then rounding out the bottom 5, not a Big 12 school, is Maryland at 4 as well. And I think the one that I wanted to touch on real quick is Oklahoma State. You just kind of you've always kind of gotten the sense the past few years that Gundy is on his last leg. He's been very vocal with the fact that he doesn't like the new new direction of college football. And I guess nobody really does. It's just kind of hard to tell if he's really adapted to it or accepted it. And so you just
I don't think
wonder,
he has.
yeah, you just kind of wonder when enough is going to be enough.
He
For
reminds me
Mike.
of McCaffrey from Iowa.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, very kind of similar, kind of behind the times. Really well respected, well tenured guy. But I mean, shit, they went 3-9 last year, 0-9 in the conference.
God,
So I
how far
mean,
they've fallen since what were they, 9-0 in 2011 when they came into a place called Jack Trice Stadium and
yeah,
they lost, and it actually eventually blew up the entire BCS because of that entire game. How far the mighty have
yeah,
fallen.
and then even like the past couple of years, they actually had a couple of decent seasons. Obviously, there was that big game. Well, one of my most favorite games to attend at Jack Trice was when Iowa State upset Oklahoma State here a couple of years ago against what was his name? Spencer Sanders was that the quarterback's name? That was obviously
That
I've
was
only
the
been going to
Purdy
Iowa
era,
State here
right?
for a couple of years. Yeah, that might have been. Oh God, was that Decker? No, that wasn't Decker's.
Was that the year of the Purdy Mania, or was that a couple years after that?
I think it would have been. I think it was 2021, so it would have been. That would have been Purdy's last year, I believe. Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, certainly, Mike. It kind of saying that is that Mike Gundy's kind of rose from the dead before. It'll just be interesting to see if he can do it one last time. I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's interested in doing it.
I don't think he gives a shit, to be honest with you. I think he's just trying to wait out his contract and make sure he collects the most amount of money that he can.
Yeah, I certainly don't disagree with that. So
Because he's always been pretty unapologetic, but it seems like anymore he really just don't give a shit.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you kind of like you said, you kind of saw Fran go the same way of becoming much more unfiltered, not really caring what happens to him. So that'll
They're
just be
like less
something to keep an
successful
eye
Bill
on.
Selfs.
Yes, much less successful.
I mean, successful nonetheless, but they're definitely not on the Bill Self level. But he's kind of getting to the same point too, which
Yeah,
almost makes you like him a little more.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I know the past few times that he's come to Hilton, you can really see that he's kind of embraced the. I guess I would almost say embrace the hatred, but like it almost seems like the Hilton Coliseum crowd has developed something of an endearment, a healthy endearment, a healthy respect for Bill Self. You'll see that he'll crack a
Oh yeah,
smile every now and
100%.
again.
Yeah, well,
He had that. Well, there's that game that Trey King hit a bunch of 3-pointers, and I remember there was some famous reaction of Bill Self being like, or however many he had hit. So
I just watched a clip today on Twitter. I can't remember who posted it, but it was the DeAndre Kane alley-oop dunk that forced the Bill Self timeout back in, God, what was that? It would have been probably 2015, 2014. It was way early in the game. But yeah, I think that's kind of when it started because I used to hate Bill Self, and now, I hate to see him leave.
yeah. Yeah, I know there's always been kind of rumors if Bill Self would ever kind of just jump ship just to kind of take a victory lap somewhere. I think there were some
I don't
very
think he
brief,
would.
probably unsubstantiated rumors that he would go to Oklahoma State, go back to Oklahoma State before Oklahoma State hired Lundy here this last cycle. But no, I don't really see that see that either. I guess what'll be really interesting is when that job comes open and obviously who would
Man,
get
who do you
that
take at that point?
I mean, I had always thought that would be a position that Darren DeVries would have been
That's
should have
funny you
been
say
grooming
that. I was
himself
actually
for.
just thinking about that.
Right, but now that he's gone to Indiana, I don't think he would take that step down. Kind of the same thing where if McCollum had decided to stay at Drake, I think McCollum could have made it work at Kansas, and that could have been a spot that McCollum wanted to
You
jump
don't
ship
think
to.
McCollum leaves Iowa to go to Kansas if that job opens up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, it'll depend on how things are going at Iowa, which is one of the things I'm looking forward to watching is seeing how those Iowa Hawkeyes look here. But no, I don't. I think now that he's at Iowa, I just don't. I think he's kind of in it for the long haul now.
I would agree with that. I'm really excited to see what they look like too. I'm not a big obviously we're not big Iowa supporters on this show, but I always want to see them do well.
I don't, but
Well, I mean, so whatever, dude, be a hater.
oh
If,
yeah, absolutely.
if they're playing Iowa State, like, yeah, they can go get fucked. But other than
Oh,
that,
I'm
like,
a
well,
hater.
I've also been softened up because I live in Omaha, so I've come to appreciate teams that I used to really hate because I used to not
Yeah.
be able to stand the Huskers, and now I need them to do well. So the homies are doing good.
Yeah, no, yeah, Iowa can get fucked as all as I'm concerned, and that has nothing to do with McCollum. I mean, obviously, but you know,
I know you're salty
Ben
about
McCollum.
them ties. Tell me about them ties.
Yeah, they kind of. I guess it's kind of unfair to say that they stole the gimmick because he had been doing the same thing when he was down on Maryville. But certainly Drake made it popular. Drake made it famous. But no, I mean, when it comes to Ben McCollum, I mean, obviously he gave me one of the greatest moments of my life of beating Missouri there down in Wichita. Um, but it's just still a little scorned. I mean, if McCollum had gone to anywhere but Iowa City, I would have rooted for him. Just like the same thing, I'm really excited to watch Darren DeVries in Bloomington. I plan on following them pretty well, and I plan on rooting for him. I mean, hell, if I can, depending on when that game is, I think it'd be really fun to go down to Bloomington when Iowa matches up with the Indiana Hoosiers down there. That'll be a really interesting game between Ben McCollum and Darren DeVries. But yeah, um, just the fact that McCollum left so quickly, and you can't really blame him, but you're still kind of salty about it.
Do you think if Darren DeVries takes the Iowa job, do you think McCollum stays with Drake, or do you think he goes somewhere else?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that he would have stayed at Drake. I think it was Iowa or bust. From
Do you
what
think he keeps Bennett Sturts?
that's a really good question. So from what I understand, from what I've heard, is that Indiana actually approached McCollum before they
DeVries.
approached DeVries, but they tried to talk to McCollum while the season was still going on. From what I understand, they tried to meet up with him at Arch Madness down in St. Louis, and supposedly McCollum stood firm that he doesn't want to talk to another team in the middle of his conference tournament in the middle of the season.
Well, I don't like that type of
And that's when they
integrity for a
decided to
coach at Iowa.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, right. Um, so I know that I think it was literally just today that McCollum had said that multiple uh, Power 4 teams or Power 5 teams had pursued him. So I don't know on top of Iowa and Indiana, I don't know what other teams would have tried to engage with him. I know it's possible that Villanova had checked in on him considering how long.
Maryland, I know Maryland was looking, A&M was looking.
Yeah, I think Maryland opened after. So I don't know if it would have been Villanova. Well, I guess I mean I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Minnesota reached out to him before but they were probably pretty decided on Medved. So I don't know. But yeah, getting back to your point, I genuinely don't think that McCollum would have gone anywhere unless it was Iowa. And that gets to your next question of if they would have been able to keep Bennett Sturts. I mean, I've always been of the idea that McCollum and Sturts, they've always been a package deal. I don't know if people realize that or
Right.
not, but that's basically Darren DeVries and Tucker DeVries right there. It's the same dynamic. So by saying that, obviously you would have thought that he would have stayed at Drake, but man, he
Well,
would have had
you
a lot of
remember
money
the
coming his way.
you remember the 11th hour with Joshua Jefferson back in April.
Yeah,
Who knows the validity of all that, and how true all that was. But what if I would imagine Drake probably can't offer a whole lot, but
No, probably not. And it just comes down to could Drake have made it respectable enough to
right.
I mean, it's just the same thing that Iowa State's doing. I mean, I know
And
for a
they've
fact
really lucked out. They've really lucked out with some of these guys.
yeah, they have that. They've had good kids that want to be loyal to Ames, and I know for a fact that Iowa State didn't outbid LSU. They just got it close enough so that Jefferson and his camp was comfortable sticking around, and it just would have been a question if they would have been able to if Bennett if Drake would have been able to treat Bennett the same way, and it's hard to know what kind of hometown discount he would have given us, but yeah, it kind of sucks to not get a second year. Drake has come so close to having a player get drafted straight out of Drake. Obviously, to Tucker. If Tucker left early, he probably could have gotten drafted. Obviously, if he decided to stay, he'd be looking at getting drafted. Sturts could be looking at.
Sturch is looking at a lottery pick right now.
Yeah, that was the more surprising thing. Is I was almost kind of disappointed because you kind of have to assume that McCollum was behind this. Is that Sturts decided not to pursue the draft process this year, which I know just talking to some of my Drake fans, it was kind of weird that he decided to not even test the waters, and that just kind of shows his overabundance of loyalty to Ben
He's
McCollum.
doubling
Yeah,
down
he
basically
probably
on his coach.
yeah he probably would have been a lottery pick, and he's risking a lot of unknowns in Iowa City, and who knows if that's going to be there the next time around. So
Well, so
that
then
that was kind of the strangest thing.
you also got to think that if he declares and then goes and tests the waters, then he's also going to give scouts, a year's worth of tape that they're going to sit there and break down and watch, meticulously trying to figure out whether or not he is even worth the pick the following year. Because look at like a Lindell Wigington for Iowa State. He declared for the draft. He went in, did all the workouts, and then decided at the last second to come back, and then he was never the same. And then he just so happened to get ran out of the city by some guy named Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. But yeah, that would have been interesting. That was just really weird that Sturts decided not to test the NBA draft because, I mean, I'm sure he'll be a good player at Iowa, but it's really hard to imagine him recreating what he did in Des Moines this year. Is he going to be able to play 40 minutes every single game in the Big Ten?
Well, are they going to be able to slug it out like they did in the Mo Valley? Like he's essentially got the same team, but he's moved up like another.
He's got the same team, but a lot worse, in my opinion. But that's
another tier.
Another day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
definitely less cohesive of a team.
I really think that if they're going to be successful, it's going to look like those first couple of years under Otzelberger, where they're maybe potentially putting up 40 points a night. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I saw that. I know. I think that David Eichel, and this is something that McCollum had been asked millions of times since he took the job, is he going to play the same kind of slow style at Iowa as he did at Drake?
He's going to have to. He's going to have to.
I don't know. Each time, I don't know if I agree with that, because each time that McCollum has been asked that, he's almost been kind of offended by it, and has basically told him to kind of look at his other teams, and he's correct. So some of his teams down in Maryville, down at North of Missouri State.
Well, you got to remember that too. You got to also keep that in mind.
He had some teams that played slow. He had some teams that play fast. So I mean, I do believe him that they're probably going to try to speed it up a little bit. I think he thinks that they have a better shooting team this year, which is ultimately he's been on record is that the reason that they had to play so slow this past year is that they didn't quite have the 3-point shooting that a Ben McCollum team usually likes to have. I mean, they had a lot of really good top tier guys, but just kind of across the board, they didn't have great. They didn't have great. They had Sturtz and Mascari, who were really good 3-point shooters, but Abreu couldn't really do much from three. Obviously,
I think he
at
was
the
more of a
5.
low post bruiser.
Yeah, he was kind of a Charles Barkley garbage man, and that's really what I think that what a lot of people are forgetting is that the team that Ben McCollum brought to Drake from Northwest Missouri State was a very cohesive unit. Probably not the most talented set of guys, but you got Bennett Sturtz, Isaiah Jackson, Daniel Abreu, and Mitch Mascari, who had been through thick and thin for 3-4 years. That's not the case anymore of what's going to Iowa City. Obviously, again, you have that top tier talent, and Bennett Sturtz is going to be there, and he'll be good. It'll just be interesting to see how good. But really,
I'm gonna say right now, I think he'll be all
much.
Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, if he is good for him. It's just, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. All Big Ten's a big statement to make.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just being a hater.
Well, well, I'm sure, and trust me, I'm not holding it against you by any means. It's kind of a sore subject to bring up at this point, and it could get even sore depending on how everything goes.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. So,
well, you were the first person I thought about when I heard of even the rumblings that it could happen. Once the DeVries domino fell, it was almost McCollum or bust, and I know you just went through it last year. I mean,
yeah.
But shout out to the AD there at Drake, because what the fuck,
Brian Harden, he's doing a hell of a job.
He's produced the head coach for Indiana and the head coach for Iowa in 2 years.
Yeah,
and 2 years time.
In some cases, obviously up in Minneapolis, Nico Medved also a former Drake coach. He's not hired by Brian Harden. He was hired by Marty Martin, the president, because there was a transition at the time. But certainly Nico served under Harden before he decided to make his leap after 1 year. So yeah, there's three Big Ten coaches,
and I do like the new coach too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Hendo's able to do. They certainly have. They seem to be some really talented guys. Just from listening to the podcast that Michael Admire puts out there for the Drake Sports Network, they seem like really good kids. They seem like they like each other. It seems to be a cohesive unit so far. So they've got some really talented guys. They just picked up a 2026 high school recruit who picked Drake over like Arizona State, Iowa State. Now, I don't know. Obviously, some of those offers were older, but the kid was offered a scholarship by Arizona State a couple weeks ago, and he chose Drake over them. So Henderson has made a lot of inroads on the recruiting trail. So it'll just be interesting to see if he can put it together. Obviously, he only brought one player from South Dakota State. He brought, I think, one or two guys that would have been incoming freshmen to this year's Jackrabbits team. So I mean, will they come out of the gates like Ben McCollum's team did last year? Probably not. If they do, great.
I would have asked you that last year. You would have never said that this was what was going to happen.
Right? No, yeah, exactly. I would have said that. I thought you were
already jump off the cliff last year,
but I think that just. Yeah, I guess I suppose maybe. I mean, I knew it was a higher, but yeah, I didn't really see it immediately, and that just comes down to the fact that I think a lot of new talent transfers over to the mid-major level. That high-end D2 talent seemed to obviously transfer just fine to the mid-major level.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hendo's got a really big personality.
Yeah, he does. He's a really good guy. He has a really interesting background. I mean, he was a school teacher. He was a principal at a high school when he was coaching. I think, and that's right. He coached at the same high school that I believe T.J. Otzelberger had coached there, Burlington High School in Wisconsin, I believe it was. So a very interesting background. He just has a very genuine educational background, and yeah, I guess he'll be. I suppose it'll be a good problem to have. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to hold on to him. Obviously, you could be looking at a situation where, who knows, maybe Kansas State's looking for a head coach next year. Maybe Nebraska's looking for a head coach next year.
I don't know about all that. I think they're.
I
can
hope
tell
not.
you, I can report to you from the state of Nebraska that they are. Fred Hoiberg would have to maybe shoot somebody on Fifth Street to even be in the running to get fired right now.
Yeah,
which is crazy because they've never won a tournament game or done anything even relevant when it comes to March, which is also crazy to think about considering their football history. But I think Fred's their guy. I think he's kind of finding his groove again. I think it took him a couple years to kind of figure out the landscape of kind of how things work now. But he continues to find guys and kind of make something out of nothing. And he's been knocking on the door the last couple years. Granted, he doesn't have the same success he had at Iowa State, but I don't know if you could ever recreate something like that, because that was quite a time to be alive there.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Fred had a level of innovation to the sport of college basketball that, I mean,
he was on the transfer. Storm. Yeah, he was on the transfer portal before the transfer portal was even a big thing. I mean, that's how they got your boy Royce White.
Yeah, Royce White, Chris Babb, Chris Allen, Corey Lucius.
Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah,
and it's one after another too.
So standard now. Fred was kind of ahead of the game on. So, but yeah, I guess kind of getting back to, I guess one job, I think Wisconsin, I don't know, who knows, that Wisconsin job could open up, but it's just kind of funny that that's where my mind goes, is that the guy hasn't even coached a single fucking game, and I'm wondering, hey, what if we lose him after?
What if it goes? What if it goes great and he's gone, or what if it's horrible?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, the only reason he'd be gone after 1 year is if it went great, and at that point, I mean, I've kind of accepted it. You see that there's a couple of other schools that kind of run by that same model. VCU kind of had a similar situation. Utah State had a similar situation. I think both of those schools are kind of in a similar situation that Drake is. So, but I mean,
that's how you also get that you get that offer to move up. I don't think I'd ever say Drake's forever in the Missouri Valley if a better opportunity comes knocking where they have a chance to make more money. So, if you keep producing coaches like this, like, they're going to be like, man, dude, they bring people and money in. Like, we need that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's funny you bring that up, because that's been kind of something that has been starting to heat up a little bit. Obviously, as Drake,
where do you think they'd go? Who do you think is going to make the offer?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess let's start here. The interesting thing is, obviously, in the Missouri Valley Conference, you have a lot of schools that are pretty aspirational on the football side of things, which is obviously not Drake. But
at all,
you look at what Missouri State last year, they decided to kind of sell their soul to football, and they left the Valley and they decided to go to I think they went to the Sun Belt. You could see, obviously, you and I could decide to do something. Illinois State could decide to do something. I think Southern Illinois could decide to do something. So
now, are they trying to make that jump? Are they trying to make that potential jump to the FBS?
It could be, yeah. I mean, certainly they've always had those aspirations. I think at least those three schools, I believe, are the main ones that have had a pretty good track record at the FCS level, and that kind of brings you back to the conference side of things, where if one or two of those schools decides to make the jump and sell their soul for football, then Drake has to kind of start looking around, looking at the stability of the valley, and deciding if they want to try to do something else. Now, obviously, someone's got to want to take them, and as much as I would, I just don't think it's really realistic that Drake can make a step up yet. Pretty much
No,
the only real
I'd agree with that.
going to the Atlantic 10 or at some point going to the Big East.
Man, I knew you were going to say the Big East. I was really hoping you were going to.
I mean, that's all there is. I mean, there's nothing else. There's really nothing else that you could say. Like, considering Drake's football situation, those are really the only two places upwards that they could go. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world if they decided to go to the Summit League or something like that. It wouldn't be great, but the Summit League has a lot of football aspirational schools as well. You look at all those Dakota schools.
And Drake is you're gonna have to remind me. They're like NAIA, aren't they? Or they're like non-scholarship. They're in a really weird division.
Well, no, I mean they're FCS. They're in the same level as you and I, but they are non-scholarship. But they compete in the Pioneer Football League, which is a non-scholarship football conference with the likes of Dayton's in there, Valpo's in there, Jacksonville, San Diego, and then a couple other places.
Hey, quick shout out to Willie
Cashmore. Yeah, I don't think he's there anymore, but the Willie Cashmore dynasty.
Man, our boy. For those of you who don't know, we had him for a summer program 1 year as our instructor.
Yes, he was a running back for Drake there, kind of I guess I'd been like 06, 07, 08, something like that.
The Fadavong era.
Yes, Scotty Fadavong. And then he decided to come back. He was a coach at Drake for a pretty long time, but I think he decided to move on to greener pastures last year, even before the coaching change.
I thought he was a coach at Urbandale.
Fadavong was, yeah. That's what Willie Cashmore was not.
Oh yeah, he went and did something. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, shout out to him. All right, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it moving here real quick. I'm going to cut you off, but we're coming up on 52 minutes.
I mean, I'm talking too much. My throat's starting to hurt. I don't got much more.
Take a drink of water.
I've been drinking.
What are your thoughts on Ireland here? Like I said earlier, we're 2 weeks away from my first official heart attack of the 2025 football season, and I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. You look at Avery Johnson and the Kansas State Wildcats. I mean, I guess it's not that groundbreaking of opinion, but it's really just going to show you the different directions that this Iowa State team could go this year is so heavily influenced by what you're going to see in this first game.
Is that not scary? Because Campbell's almost notorious for not totally being on the A game. So I guess we're gonna find out really what they're made of here in the first game, and this thing could hold a lot of weight.
Yeah, because I saw someone say if Iowa State wins this first game and then they rattle off to 5-0, they could be a top 5-10 team in the country. But then obviously if they lose to Kansas State,
it could snowball real quick. They could be 1-3 going into, or they could easily be 1-3 going into Big 12 play. And then at that point, you're looking at what was that, 2001 all over again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just comes down to if you're going to be able to stop Avery Johnson. Obviously, last year Iowa State was able to keep him under control at Jack Trice Stadium. Just a lot of unknowns, but you just kind of hope for the best. That's about the best you can say.
Well, I could say the one thing that at least we know for sure is we'll have linebackers coming back.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of the linebackers have kind of picked up where they left off. You got, it sounds like Caleb Bacon is hasn't lost a step after missing last year. You got McLaughlin that's going to be there.
He went down on the second series of the season, didn't he?
Pretty much, yeah. So a room that was so depleted last year, as long as they stay healthy, they've got a lot of really good guys there. So,
and obviously they've lost a couple guys. Darian Porter is officially listed as the starting safety starting cornerback, for the Oakland Raiders right now.
Oakland Raiders,
Las Vegas Raiders, the Oakland Raiders. And we're live on Twitter right now, anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
So yeah, they've obviously lost a couple good pieces, but this seems to be a trending theme for Campbell year in and year out right now, is finding a guy that has a lot of potential but can't seem to find the field where he's at. And, they put him in a position where they have a chance to kind of step up and thrive. And I mean, he's done that with a couple players now at this point. Remember the Joel Lanning days?
Yep. They made it work with him.
He was not always a linebacker.
No, he was not. He was not often that you see your starting quarterback become your starting Mike linebacker. So,
or a guy that is willing to make a move like that.
Yeah, pride of Ankeny, Iowa.
That's right, baby. That's right. All right. A couple more things I want to get into. This Iowa QB situation. What is going on with this video that's floating around the internet right now with Gronowski throwing this little 5-yard out route pass?
I mean, the Iowa fans will take whatever they can get when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I guess they can.
I mean, I get it, but you can't be grasping on the straws, people. You gotta at least see him on the field.
I don't know what to tell you there. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a long line of disappointments with them. It seems to be almost a year in, year out theme. And I know they got rid of Ferentz to kind of combat that a little bit. But I mean, McNamara going on that podcast last year, that whatever he went on to and said, just please tell us we'll be the shittiest offense in the country. And then you came out and you were the shittiest offense in the country. I don't know. I do kind of like the fact that Gronowski's not going on a media tour.
I mean, it does seem like that Tim Lester has figured some things out. So they looked better at times last year. And now that Lester actually has a quarterback, hey, maybe they can do something. I don't know. I'm not going to talk too much shit because
nope,
I don't know.
I'm with you there 100%. I'm honestly, this is probably the most reserved I've ever been on an opinion about Iowa State. I'm still riding the high from last year. I still got them Pop-Tarts that we got from the casino watching that game.
Yeah.
I just don't want to take anything for granted. I feel blessed every day that rather than not even wanting to turn them on, I get a chance to have an aneurysm every time I watch them play right now.
Yeah, it's really the golden age of Cyclone athletics, and you just hope they can keep doing it. You hope they can keep doing it.
Well, so I'm gonna ask you one more thing, and then I'll let you go. We're just about at an hour right now. So I'm gonna circle back to the fair.
Okay.
So I know you used to work at the fair.
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell the people where you worked, because I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it was the Dairy Barn.
Yes, that is correct. I worked at the Dairy Barn. It was
how about that, huh?
A fundraiser for the Urbandale Marching Band. We would have to work at the fair to pay for, not like all organizations do. Yeah, that was an interesting gig, man. Scooping ice cream for 12 hours a day.
Did you go last year?
Did I go last year? I think I probably did. Yeah, I think I did. Like I said, usually these days I just go to see my grandpa. I don't really do the whole thing.
I'm trying to think of the last time I went. I think it's been think it's probably been at least 7 years for me now since I last
Yeah,
went.
I mean it's been a long time since I've kind of like planned a day to go do the fair, do the whole thing. I mean, it probably since I was in middle school was the last time I did that, or I guess it would have been high school at some point. So
I used to go with my mom every first Friday before Eastsiders night. I think we did that for almost 10 years. She hit a bird one time driving down there.
oh,
Traumatized us both. And then she put she turned the
man.
windshield wipers on, and the bird got stuck underneath the windshield wipers. So we rode around with that bird for the rest of the day. That thing was dead as fuck. Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry that I just aired that out, but I'll never forget her and I looking at each other and screaming after she hit that thing, and then tried to get it off the windshield with the windshield wipers. Good times.
Yep, sounds like it.
What is your number one fair food of all time?
I mean, it's the classic, and I don't give a shit if it's cliche, but I'm always going with the corn dog. That's
Yep. I was
that's
either
number
gonna go
one.
corn dog or the cookies.
Oh man, yeah. So that the saying those. What is it called? The Barksdale cookies? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Barksdale.
Barksdale. Yeah, those the softest, those medium rare chocolate chip cookies, man. Those are the best kind.
Word on the
The best.
streets, they've fallen off since they got their own standalone place.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to do some investigative work there.
I want to say it was Matt Van Winkle that said that since they
That
got their own
sounds right.
standalone place that they're cold now. They don't come out as warm or as hot as they used to.
Well, that's no fun.
It might have also been Williams too. I don't know. Someone was talking shit on the cookies. They said it was not the same.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, those are always good, man. You get them in the bucket.
Oh, you got to get the bucket. That bucket's probably like $50 nowadays.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, corn dog number one, top two, not two.
Foot long for sure.
For sure.
Gotta be.
I just think like otherwise, like all the fair food's just gotten so crazy. It's kind of hard to keep track of what else. I think the last time that I tried like one of the crazy fair foods was when they had the fried butter,
The
which
fried
really
butter on a
didn't end up.
stick.
Yeah, it didn't end up being as crazy as it sounded. It just kind of ended up tasting like a cinnamon roll. I think that was the last. I'm trying to think because I just don't get that
That had to
creative
have
with
been at
it.
least 10 years ago because I remember hearing about that. I never had it, but I remember hearing
I
about
mean,
it. That was like the big thing the year it came out.
yeah. I mean, once I had the peanut butter and jelly on a stick, but like it was just literally like a peanut butter and jelly put on like a skewer with grapes in between it. I just kind of liked it because it was somewhat healthy. It wasn't deep fried, so I had the peanut butter and jelly on a stick. But I don't know if I've had anything else that crazy.
I wasn't a big on the stick guy. The on the stick didn't drive me crazy like it did other people.
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Even about the corn dog is that I feel those first couple bites of the corn dog are great, but then you have to work around the stick, which just gets kind of
No, you just
inconvenient.
slide that motherfucker up the stick. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but then eventually it'll start to fall off if you slide it too far up. It's just so. But then at that point, if you're having to slide it up, it kind of defeats the purpose of the stick. So that's my somewhat hot take is that anything on a stick is overrated, but still the corn dog is still goated enough that it overcomes the overration. It's not a word.
I
It's
think
the
the corn dog is
overration.
one of the only foods that you could put on a stick and it makes it okay.
Yeah, probably.
Well, what about the
I remember once I got one of those turkey legs. Those turkey legs were good.
I was just about to mention the turkey legs. It's been forever
Been a
since I
minute
had
on
one of
those.
those things.
Yeah, those are good.
Man, now you got me thinking about food. I haven't ate yet tonight.
You'll have to come down. Come down a week early. Come down to the state fair.
I can't because I'm coming back. All right, so I know I kind of forgot about this, but for nobody that's listening right now live, I will be in Des Moines the week of the 22nd through the 24th. We're trying to put together doing a live show together. We have not necessarily figured out a location yet or how it's going to work. Tried to do this before, and I didn't realize how much equipment I needed to bring with me. But I think I've kind of got a little better handle of it now. That will be the week of Iowa State, Kansas. Iowa State, Kansas State. Or if you've seen that flag that they posted on Twitter, KS.
K-S State.
Yeah, K-S State. Love it.
Your internet's starting to crap out pretty bad. We're going to need to land this plane pretty soon.
I think it's both of us. Because you've been chopping up a little bit too. But yeah, that's about all I got for you, brother. Big fantasy season coming up. I am the defending champion in a league that I've been in for 13 years for the first time ever. Shout out to the man, I don't even know what the name of the league is. But it's a league with a bunch of 50-year-olds. I've been playing with them forever. Happy to finally take them to the cleaners. Do you got anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. One thing I was going to ask you about. It really has nothing to do with the podcast. It's just me talking to you as a friend on the podcast. Think about November 10th.
What's going on November 10th?
At the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I think if you're
and
free,
they're playing,
make a road trip out of it.
They're playing someone big. Who are they playing?
Mississippi State.
Yes. November 10th.
So I'm just looking like the road, the fastest route from Des Moines to Sioux Falls is actually just going straight to Omaha and then going up.
Yep.
So if you wanted to, I could swoop you up and then we can go up there.
And that is a Monday.
Yeah, that is Monday the 10th, and the next day for me is the 11th, which is Veterans Day, so I don't have work the nenext day.
Well, shout out to you, Mr. Government employee. Glad you still got your job, by the way, buddy.
I didn't think we were going to talk about that, but thought we'd agreed on that one.
No, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Well, they don't know what you do. They don't care.
No. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
So
anyway, think about it.
What time's that game tip off?
I think it's just like 7:00. So
we'll see how the next 2 months go.
Yeah,
we all got bills to pay, and I got to make sure I got a roof over my head. Otherwise, we can't keep doing this dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can pay for the tickets. It's not the end of the world, so I'm guessing it's not outrageous. So I guess maybe this is too offline of a discussion for the podcast. We can talk about it later.
That's all right. We can cut this out. Cut that.
That would be a good idea.
All
right. Anything else?
What do you got planned for this weekend?
What's up?
So what do you got planned for this weekend?
Not doing anything at all this weekend.
I'm not either.
Low key.
For the first time. I need a low key weekend. I'm getting tired of doing stuff all the time.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to not do anything all weekend.
Honestly, I'm probably going to sit on my ass and trying to advance my 2K25 My Player.
There you go.
Me and Wemby are looking for a three-peat right now. We're 2 in, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through the current season. So, and I finally figured out how to hit threes. I don't know why this game has made it so difficult to shoot the ball. It used to be so easy, and now it ain't.
All right, we're gonna land this plane.
I'm gonna let you land it this time. I landed it last time.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. We're gonna try to stay on schedule here. Fridays at 8:00. Plan on it. For the Self-Made Podcast, I'm your boy JT with your other boy, Mr. Slim. We'll see you next
Yes,
time.
sir.
Peace
All right,
out.
y'all. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend.